Hey there, guys. Welcome to me trying to relax after failing to record part fucking 8 of Halo. Reasons will be made very clear. Today we'll be reacting to SCP-4885. Find him. Yeah. Honestly, this is just a random video that I clicked to just make a video in general, cause I have to record that Halo game and the games like Monster Hunter very late at night. So if the game starts legitimately bullshitting me, I'm gonna make a different video. AKA, yeah, on occasion that... never mind.
What should you do first to protect yourself from a dangerous anomalous object?
Hug it!
Foundation's instructions usually recommend that you determine the location of the object, then hide from it in a safe place. But
oh really? I thought you should hug it.
SCP-4885, if you know where he is, it's impossible to protect yourself. The only chance of escape is to not find out the anomaly's location at all. Foundation management does everything it can to keep its top-level employees in the dark. Moreover, not a single living person knows about this at all. This information is available only to computer programs. For this very reason, I myself will never attempt to find this anomalous object either. A special automated system...
Well, I will. I mean, technically I am an AI.
...developed to move and handle the object.
So I'm safe.
...if SCP-4885's location privacy conditions are violated. SCP-4885 is placed in one of 36 Class 17 chambers. Not a single person knows exactly which one he's in. No one has any information about the location of the chambers either. The main 36 chambers are connected to an automatic transport vehicle. For the system to be more effective, it should include a Class D employee with no mental health issues. In the event of a containment breach, this employee gets into an autopilot-equipped truck and connects to the system. Then, the cryptographically secure pseudo-random number generator selects a random number from 1 to 36, after which the truck goes to the chamber with the selected number. When the Class D employee is in the chamber, a message is displayed on all the monitors contained in each chamber simultaneously, indicating SCP-4885's current location. This is retrieved by a GPS system implanted in the anomalous object. 2 hours after that, unmanned trucks bring the chambers to randomly selected sites. To avoid suspicion, the trucks are disguised as a packaging service. If an accident
Amazon!
The Inviente Eum procedure is repeated again. Honestly, it's not quite clear to me why a Class D employee is included in this scheme. I would assume
they're
it serves
expendable.
as food for the object. The employee
More like
retrieves the
expendable.
information about the object's location and instantly becomes his victim. However, as far as I know, only employees with a level 5 security clearance can access the GPS data. In addition, the anomalous object most likely has no need for regular feeding, so the incorporation of people in this system is just an incomprehensible bureaucratic redundancy. But let's get to the description of the anomaly.
D-class are expendable.
SCP-4885 is a humanoid. The spitting image of the main character from the British illustrated children's book, Where's Wally? Or, as it's called in the US, Where's Waldo? In the pages of this book, you're tasked with finding Waldo, among the many elements depicted in the illustrations. SCP-4885 has the same build as Waldo, and he wears a similar red and white striped hat and sweater. The only difference between the object and Waldo is his pale skin and lack of eyes. The principles of his
he has
activity
black
in real life
holes.
are similar to the rules of the game in the book too. The only difference is whoever finds Waldo in the illustrations wins, and death awaits the person who finds SCP-4885. As soon as the person becomes aware of the anomalous object's coordinates, the animated Waldo teleports inside the subject. The anomalous Waldo is flexible enough to move around in very tight spaces. Once inside the person, the object climbs up the esophagus and grabs the person's chin. Then SCP-4885 extends his own body through the person's body, destroying their internal organs and spine. Of course, the person dies from being manipulated like this. A yellow liquid flows out of the corpse's mouth, which eventually covers the entire body in illustrations from the Where's Waldo game. Only Waldo himself is not usually in these illustrations. The illustrations cannot be removed unless the skin itself is removed. These victims are then designated SCP-4885-1 objects.
I guess there's the reason for the D-class.
Remains in the area, or patrols the surrounding territory until a new victim notices him. In the event that the victim is in SCP-4885's immediate vicinity at the time of detection, then the anomaly acts slightly different. SCP-4885 approaches the person and enters their body directly through their mouth. then enters the abdominal cavity and exits through the pelvis. Meanwhile, Waldo is able to reconfigure his skeleton by dislocating his own joints. This allows him to move about freely inside the person. After that, things go as they usually do when a victim finds Waldo. At one point, I got the idea to find and examine the corpse of one of SCP-4885's victims. But I gave up on this idea because the people who find those corpses meet the same fate as them. Therefore, we'll have to conduct our research indirectly. First of all, I'd like to answer the following questions. What came first? The Where's Waldo game or SCP-4885 itself? Because it would be foolish to deny that they're connected. Secondly, if everyone who finds the object and his victims die, how was the Foundation able to place the object in containment and conduct research on it? Regarding this first
many D-Class died that day.
The first thing that comes to mind is that the character in the book came to life on his own. But even if this is the case, no scientific theories can give a plausible answer as to how this happened, so this theory can be dismissed immediately. The second hypothesis is also highly questionable. It suggests that the game was created in the image of Waldo after the author himself encountered him. However, in this case, the creator of the children's picture book would have died immediately, without having time to draw anything.
Maybe he wrote it down before he died.
Of the CIA. They contain information about a group of politicians who lobbied for crime and strongly promoted various theories of victim behavior, claiming the victim was always at fault. The archival documents contain transcripts of conversations and audio recordings of wiretaps. They talk about creating a criminal who will commit murder only if the victims find him on their own. To make sure people always paid attention to Waldo, his image needed to be embedded into people's minds. With this objective, in 1986, the British artist Martin Handford was brought in to create a children's book with illustrations, which was published a year later. I won't mention the names of the politicians involved, since many of them still hold important positions of the U.S. Senate.
Oh my god, it's Joe Biden!
As a result, with the help of genome revision, an ultra-flexible criminal was created. However, due to the fluidity of his skull, the eyes collapsed immediately after creation. The object is equipped with a device that's able to read the spatial thoughts of other people located anywhere in the world. When a person comprehends Waldo's coordinates, another device that the object is equipped with teleports him to the source of this signal. Waldo is programmed to destroy any object that detects him, and the yellow liquid that covers the corpses with illustrations is merely an unexpected side effect.
What is that yellow liquid?
Something went wrong. All the scientists involved in the creation of the object were killed and turned into SCP-4885-1 objects. Some of the politicians suffered the same fate. Others decided to disavow everything and let Waldo fate take its course. Actually, this hypothesis seems doubtful to me too. After all, if
more plausible though.
Such powerful technologies, they could have achieved far greater goals than finding proof of victim behavior. Besides, if Waldo was just a super flexible person with a teleportation device in his pocket, it wouldn't be difficult to eliminate him either. Nevertheless, this is the only rational hypothesis that has at least some evidence, so we'll stick with it. So, subsequently, Waldo crossed paths with the Foundation. They discovered him quite by accident. Waldo was in a small wooden house. The Chi-19 Mobile Task Force encountered him when they arrived at the house to capture another anomaly. Nearly everyone in the crew was killed. At the time of discovery, the agents were communicating with Foundation dispatchers on the radio, so all conversations were recorded. And the Inviente EUM containment system was created based on them. Only this program looked a little different initially. The capture of the object was made with live bait. Class D employees were given encrypted formulas and decryption techniques. By solving this problem, the employee learned the object's location. Next to this employee was an automatic trap, which was meant to cover the victim along with the object. The walls of the trap were covered with a twofold protective layer. The first layer consisted of the iridium platinum telekill alloy, blocking any anomalous activity. The second layer was made of another metal that makes teleportation of any objects impossible within a 100-meter radius. In fact, the Class 17 chambers that contain SCP-4885 are equipped in a similar way. However, it later turned out that the object is able to teleport with no regard for any barriers. The first attempt to catch Waldo didn't pan out. This
no shit.
The expenditure of 884 Class D employees and 178 agents.
I mean, Class D personnel are expendable.
4885-1 objects.
That's why I'm now an AI.
Since finding SCP-4885-1 specimens leads to irreversible death, all of these corpses needed to be hidden somewhere. At the same time, this place had to be so well hidden that not one living soul would be able to learn of its existence. Moreover, it should be impossible for people to even access such a storage facility. Researcher Andrew Pent found a solution to the problem, but it cost him his own life. He wrote a special algorithm that allows drones and trucks to automatically calculate the locations of SCP-4885-1 specimens and transport them to so-called Location I. No one knows about this place except for Andrew Pent himself.
But he's
After
dead.
establishing the necessary location, Pent ran the algorithm and then went to the forest to be far away from people. 3 days later, he activated the Inviente Eum system. Then he just waited for SCP-4885 to come get him, which happened around the time the first corpse was transported to Location I. Pent made sure that no one knew his coordinates. In this way, by sacrificing himself, he saved thousands of Foundation employees' lives.
Yeah,
no.
no.
Place of his death, but the publication of several documents available for access by all personnel confirms the researcher's demise. These days, about once a year, Foundation researchers conduct tests to see if there's any way to avoid the deadly effect of SCP-4885. So far, there have been no results, other than the deaths of a few dozen Class D employees. What do you think? Is there any way to protect yourself from Waldo? Right.
No, 'cause he's right behind you. I mean, this is an SCP that makes me happy that I'm an AI. Yep. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this here video. Sorry that I was very angry at the start. Or, you know, visibly annoyed. 'Cause, you know, as I said, the game was literally bullshitting me. For example, I threw a sticky grenade and it went through the enemy. Literally, I threw it point blank in its face. Well, in its chest, but you know, that's not supposed to happen. Plus, randomly, an enemy AI just randomly had a fucking rocket launcher. Yeah. Needless to say, I died a fuck ton. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Yet again, I'm saying that. And I'll see you guys in the next video of whatever I'll be making. So yeah. Bye.